안녕하세요, 임진입니다. American Star AAVE was a platform of English and is helpful to skills needed to advance in society. But as you can see from the video, creativity is not easy to come out in an orderly society. It is never right to force oneself to do what one thinks is right and discriminate against difference. You should admit the difference and recognize the difference. In the text, people who ignore and feel uncomfortable with black cultures are who can't respect others' opinions. If the world is full of people like this, humor will be hard to develop and people who have creativity won't be easy to shine. To protect it, I think we need a proper education. Children lack the ability to understand others because their character is not completely developed. But if we give an education that respects others and understands diversity from childhood, they will naturally understand different cultures. There is no guarantee that every child will, but an attitude toward a different culture will develop and diversity of language will recognize too.
안녕하세요, 홍정희입니다. In the school for the Auckland, the English used at school and the English used at home are different. So AAVE was approved for the students. But people's reactions were bad because marked by ignorant mistakes in pronunciation and grammar. So, unlike words and tense, it only showed people's mind. Like if you spray pesticide for bugs that like banana leaves, they will become pests. People spray pesticide called discriminate for black people. They will become monsters that they are not people for the people who spread. The first way to solve this is education. It is to educate children not to discriminate from an early age. Then, like we think, discriminate is bad. They can think discriminate is bad. Second way is making the law. If you violate this law, they will impose fine. I think this is hard because some people will oppose. I hope that it will be a good society without discriminates and respects each other.
안녕하세요. 저는 김유빈입니다. In December of 1996, the School Board of Auckland, California allowed to use Black English called AAVE, but the choice became international issue. Members of society did not recognize AAVE. Why was simply incorrect? A poor form of English married by ignorant mistakes in pronouns and grammar. The school has just admitted that it used AAVE for more correct education for children. The nature is important variety. The time to change the word to title the nature of avoid pure. The nature is evolving a more diverse side. People think everyone I'm superior and control creatures. The creatures are just valuable to exist. People who hate diversity control each other and make the same everything. Are we happy if everyone same? An example of our class, my friends have a variety character. One friend is cheerful, one friend is kind. Is this wrong? Our class is happy to these variety characters. We are happy and harmonious to have diversity. People must throw away the discrimination. We are recognized diversity.
안녕하세요, 최지원입니다. In the video, women minister who is socially underprivileged are 50% of prime minister treats chosen minister, and there was one disabled minister who is also socially underprivileged. People will think, why did they elected like this when they saw them? Now in our society, if someone is a little bit different with us, we think someone is different with us and make a distance. I know in my mind, but my action didn't follow it. AAVE is saying too. If you turn away because black English, grammar and pronunciation is inaccurate, and prove we need to live with only one language. If society allow another language suddenly, of course you will feel unfamiliar and difficult. However, if time passed, difficult language will feel more comfortable. If another language becomes standard language instead of Korean, I will be confusing and I will lose it. Nevertheless, if it's difficult, I will try to use that language to get close. And usually I'm interested in language, so I get more interested in that.
안녕하세요, 로엔입니다. Humans just don't admit variety. Humans are destroyed by diversity just for money. Why can't humans just admit variety? The reason is that humans answer questions which don't have answers by their own standards. Let's think of black people. White people have called black people useless by their own standards. In this part, we can say that humans do not recognize variety. Many animals are also dead because of the virus spread by humans' hand. Therefore, humans need to recognize biodiversity.
안녕하세요, 박하나입니다. In the video, if the plants grow too fluently, the plants become weak and genomic diversity gets lower. If the external materials which evaded people's defense will appear, the plants which didn't fight with harmful insects and grew fluently will be exterminated. And the biodiversity will get lower too, because the genomic diversity gets lower. At the passage of our language variety, the school board recognized AAV as a legitimate language, but people considered AAV to have mistakes in pronunciation and grammar, so they didn't recognize AAV. African American students can get the education better by recognizing it. If the people's opinions are still negative, I think to recognize AAV at schools that have many African Americans can be one of the solutions. And I think the negative efforts by reducing genomic diversity and the negative efforts by reducing language variety is the connecting link.
안녕하세요, 사안입니다. Today, people limit variety. Monoculture that most people know is an example. But nature and human cannot live without variety, and when we limit variety, finally we get established like various. Then why we feel like that? But with you, nature hates varietyness, nature hates limiting variety. But in the video, they showed people feel like doing monoculture and terminating many insects and pressing watermelons. In some ways, we have destroyed nature because it does damage to us. The main text controversial American language is related to this video. In the main text, people of sight to recognize AAVE as a limited legitimate second language independent of studying English. They think about AAVE only on situation not to accept variety. I think to solve this problem, although we get some inconvenience, we should try to respect and recognize variety.
안녕하세요, 이유빈입니다. Language diversity is not respected in this case. In a country where various people live together, there is not necessarily only one language. In fact, Spanish was recognized as the official language in the United States at the time. However, the African American language was not recognized. What's the reason? It is a discriminatory view of African Americans. Looking at these events, the reasons why diversity is not respected is discrimination and not recognizing difference. Diversity is the coexistence of different things. It would be impossible in the discrimination and a firm that does not recognize difference. Therefore, in order to diversity to be respected, discrimination must be removed and recognized as different. Diversity is essential and important because a healthy and strong society is formed in various people and cultures. For the diversity of our society, efforts will be needed to tell the importance of this diversity, remove discrimination, and acknowledge difference.
안녕하세요, 김아입니다. Variety is good for our life and nature. The more varied things gather, the richer they become. But people want too much varied things, so such greed can lead to big problems. Typical example is COVID-19. It is come to us by people wanting new food. The text of lesson 2 above is also represent the same topic. Despite people disagree, school and board continued a class with students who spoke in dialect. As I said earlier, it is good to be hard, but it seems not good to pursue too much various things. I'm happy with what people are doing and wish to reduce their greed a little bit to serve this. Then we can make a happier and more honored world.
박유빈입니다. The Auckland board recognized AAVE as a second language, but when this became known, Americans started to argue about English and race relations because Americans were reluctant to use AAVE. People thought it would harm education, but the board thought it would help standard English education. However, the media and public ignored its black English. Language represents the culture in the country and reason. However, the reason why there is no original language is there is no diversity. In the video, professor said that creativity comes from diversity. So why do many countries use English? The main reason is that tourists in the industry has developed and we share cultural exchanges between countries. In order to keep language diversity, we should interest in many languages and respect the country's unique culture.